Hi, welcome to another episode of Good Cube Sunday here on Good Cube Kitchen. My name is Yassine Butler and I'm your host. And today we are continuing with our celebration of Soul Food Appreciation Month. Here in the month of November, we are preparing for our most festive holiday, which is Thanksgiving. And so today we're going to be doing a crossover episode. I'm going to take some pound cake from last Friday's episode, and I'm going to combine it with a lemon ice cream. Whenever I think of pound cake, I always think of that delicious lemon glaze that goes on it. And so, to kind of play on the lemon glaze, we're going to make a lemon ice cream, and then we're going to chunk up some of that delicious pound cake and put it in as a mix-in. So let's get started. This week we're going to make a couple of additions to our standard base. I'm going to be using an additional two egg yolks instead of the normal one that I use. So let's get started. Pour over our 3 cups of liquid, which is 2¼ cup of milk and an additional quarter cup. Starting with our liquids, we're going to pour over 2¼ cup of milk and an additional 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. I'm going to scoop out just a little bit of that to go over into our cornstarch, which is, as you know, 2 tablespoons. Mix up that slurry now. Combine that over. And I know we all know how I feel about white sugar, but to get the look that I want, white sugar is the best aesthetic choice. And now going to add over our 4 ounces of corn syrup, which is really going to be important because we're using the additional egg yolks. The last thing we're going to do is temper our egg yolks once this gets nice and warm. Just a pinch of sea salt. And at the end, we're going to finish with just a little bit of lemon oil. Now that our mixture is just starting to steam, we're going to add over our milk to our egg yolks and quickly start to scramble those. Going to remove it from the eye and allow the residual heat of the cast iron to thicken it. So you see how it leaves this track? That lets you know that your custard is really ready. So now to finish with a couple of drops of lemon essence. That is really delightful. But it needs maybe 2 or 3 more drops of lemon, but I'm going to leave that until the end because as it cools, the flavor may intensify or it may decrease because of the heat. So our ice cream custard is ready. Got a little bit of a grit there, so I'm going to run this through a fine mesh sieve. So if your custard ever feels like there's some lumps in it, all you have to do is run it through a mesh sieve. The finer, the better, but for the most part, your lumps shouldn't be so large that you have to use an ultra fine one. As you can see, as I'm working it, it's pouring right through. So my lumps are small, mostly made up of cornstarch. I think the lesson to learn here is to add the cornstarch slurry while it is warm, instead of adding it while it was cold, because I had less control over the process this time. All right, so now we're going to cover this and refrigerate it, and we'll be back in about 2 hours when it reaches about 40 degrees. While our custard is cooling, let's go ahead and prep our cake. So I'm gonna cut a nice little hunk off here. I'm gonna cut it. All right. So the goal is to make little chunks. Should have left these as a single piece. So, like I said, we're making a pound cake with lemon ice cream. So, I'm gonna cut these into chunks, and these are gonna be my mix-ins. But because pound cake is already so soft, and it is a cake, so it will absorb the liquid of my custard, I'm going to freeze them before I mix them in. So they're also going to get about 2 hours. So I'm going to pop these in the freezer for 2 hours as well, and then we'll churn everything up. I encountered some technical difficulties with my audio, so I'm just going to narrate this way. I realized what was missing from the custard was actual lemon juice. The lemon extract does a very good job of replicating the flavor, but what makes the lemon glaze on a pound cake so great is that little bit of sour, tart bite that it gives. And the custard was missing that. So I'm going to juice an entire lemon. This is so much smarter to do with a citrus juicer, but I didn't have one. So I'm going to just juice it with the roll and fork method and pick out the seeds. The other reason that I actually like this method a little bit more is that I wanted all of that pulp in there. When it freezes, it's not going to become a hindrance to your enjoyment, but it will add more of the tartness. Sometimes with a juicer, you lose out on the pulp. So you want to get as much of the lemon juice in your custard as possible. Next step is to gently fold your lemon juice into your custard. The addition of the lemon juice is really going to bring that flavor up from a 7 to about a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10. Now just pour it over and let it churn for about 20 to 25 minutes. Whoa, I was not expecting it to come out like that. I actually think that's probably the end result of adding over the extra eggs, which was cool. It gave everything a really nice, rich, much more full-bodied flavor. So now I'm just going to mix in my pound cake chunks. I probably could have chopped these a little bit smaller, but do you really want a small bite of pound cake? I didn't think so. You want to get this into your freezer as quickly as possible, and if you can, put it right under the blower because you want to get this frozen as quickly as possible so you don't have soggy pound cake. All right, let's try this. I'm super excited. The custard tasted really good, and so now let's see what happens when we put it all together. Get one more scoop for good luck. My roommate had some whipped cream in the refrigerator, so. Come on, you can do it. One time for the one time, just for the gram. All right, let's give it a try. It was a really great idea to freeze the pound cake first because it's not soggy, it's not mushy, it's nice and firm. This was a success. I really love it when a plan comes together. So, you want to show up at the function with something a little different, this is definitely a hit. The lemon
in the ice cream is really great. Adding over that lemon juice was a key component to giving it the necessary tartness. The lemon oil gave it the brightness of the lemon, but the lemon juice actually gives you that bit of sour, bit of tart, which is absolutely necessary. Here's the thing that I did to the pound cake to make it for this particular episode. I took about half a cup of sugar out of the recipe so that the pound cake wasn't overpoweringly sweet. Let's try that word one more time. So the pound cake wasn't overpoweringly, I don't know if that's actually a word. So the pound cake wasn't too sweet. So the pound cake isn't super sweet, and the ice cream is really nice and sweet. The lemon juice has got your tartness and your brightness. Everything really comes together. It's really reminiscent of eating a piece of pound cake with a little bit of lemon glaze. This really works out. I think everybody at the function, especially your grandma, is gonna love this ice cream. So give it a try. Well, that's the episode for today. I'm getting ready to go and finish this off, maybe have another scoop. In all things, thank the good Lord for good food and good times. All that good is GOODCUB. Please follow me on all social media platforms at GOODCUB, GOODCUB3D on all social media platforms, and enjoy.